My mom. So Dorothea, who's played by Annette Bening, is based on my mom. And you'd think she'd be the easiest, but my mom was a very elusive creature. She didn't want to be understood or pinned down in lots of ways. And she was like a trickster figure. She loved being mysterious. So it was very hard to position her. There were, dancing was always really important to me. And music is such a central part of this film. And so dancing is how we interact with music. And there was a few dancing scenes in the script. But then when we were rehearsing, I would start every day with like a little dance party. And we would dance to like Dorothea's music, like old jazz, William's music, like Rolling Stones, Abby and Jamie's music, like punk music. And it was so beautiful watching them dance that I started to put new scenes into the script where they all dance together. So there's a great moment where Abby teaches Jamie how to dance in sort of free punk style. And that was just from our rehearsal. That's what I had gratitude to Lucas the first time they met. There's one of my favorite scenes where they all dance together and change partners. And that was something that they just did in rehearsal. And I was watching all the actors go from partner to partner. I was like, oh, this is like the whole movie made into one scene, you know? So the scene with Julie and Dorothea in the car, and they're having sort of a confrontation, and Julie kind of shows her power. That came towards the end of the shoot. And as we were preparing, as we're there with the car, we're getting set up, I can tell that both Annette Bening and Elle Fanning are a little nervous, or they're a little like ready for a fight. And I realized, oh, they really have been excited to shoot this scene. They know it's a very important scene, and they know it's really like two actors just going at it. And they are both impressed with each other. Elle makes Annette Bening nervous. She's so good. And of course, Annette makes Elle nervous because Annette's got such experience and such depth. So it was very fun, and it was very easy. Like they just, it's like letting a ball just roll down the hill. Yeah. Oh, Dorothea's. My mom sort of spoke like that. My mom had a lot of funny one-liners. And so I can remember some of them. I can remember part of her voice, but there's part of it that I couldn't. So I started watching the movies that she watched, and I knew she loved Humphrey Bogart a lot. So I watched all of his things, and I realized, wait, my mother speaks like Humphrey Bogart. Same kind of sense of humor, same kind of anti-authoritarian, subversive sense of humor, and great witty one-liners. So I was like, oh, okay, my mom must have really, really, really studied Bogart. And so I did. And he taught me a lot, or just that vibe. So those are my favorite lines. Her lines are very fun. Oh, they all were. Because they got to be really quick, and they have like usually a couple meanings at once. And they're easy to be pretentious if you do it wrong, you know? So I love it when William says, Jamie's energy's off. And Annette says, well, yeah, there's an energy crisis. Maybe that has something to do with it, you know? Or the one where having your heart broken is a great way to learn about the world. These, to me, are all kind of like lines from a Howard Hawks film, from a Bogart film, from a 1930s film. Yeah, so Lucas was born in 2000, which is crazy. I shared with him a lot of the music. There's a great book called The Cultural History of Punk Rock that he read, and Lucas is a very good student, so he really seriously studied everything I gave him. And there's a lot of documentaries about the 70s that we gave everybody. And Lucas was very serious, and so that was very helpful. And I made him dance to music all the time. Before we met, I made him dance. I'd pick a song, make him dance to it at his house in Chicago, and film it and send me the video. And then I would sort of give him comments. And yeah, it worked out. Yeah. Oh, there's lots of little moments where you cried. It's not like I'm like bawling, but you just feel like you're tearing up. Not always because it was so personal. Sometimes it's the acting was so great. And as a director, for me at least, I feel so intimately tied with the actors. I feel very responsible for them, and I just feel very emotionally tied to them. So like when Greta's crying about thinking that she can't have kids, that, when you watch someone really cry, not like fake it, but they're crying, it just makes you kind of cry, I remember one that surprised me. There's a scene where Billy Crudup and Nanette dance in the bar. He asks her to dance, and she sort of teaches him how to dance. For some reason, it was just like very sweet and human and tender. And I remember sort of being like, sometimes I don't know I'm crying, and I go, cut, and I go to say something, my voice is up here, and I'm like, oh, okay, that, that got me in a way I didn't know. Well, I mean, Japan's a big place. It's a little islands, but it's a big place. I like many different things. I love all the shrines in Kyoto. It's one of the more beautiful things I've ever seen. It's not there anymore, but the bookstore at the bottom of Parko. I got so many books from that place. I love Ebisu and Takayama, just the neighborhoods. The stores here at such a higher level than anything in America. And just in general, there's such an attention to detail, an attention to design. If people love a film or a filmmaker or music or whatever, they study it and treasure it and pay a very special attention to it. That doesn't happen so much in the United States. I love Kittyland on Harajuku. So many things. I haven't gotten it yet, so I don't know. So he's very into stuffed animals, so it's a perfect time to get him a gift from Japan. Like all the little characters here. The way I always think it's from Shinto animism, like Japanese culture, Japanese contemporary culture can animate anything. Like this table could become a creature. Like my finger could have like a little face on it, like in Japanese mindset. So he loves that. He's 5, so I can't, tomorrow I get to go shopping for,